Good afternoon. This is the House Appropriations Committee. It is Wednesday, March 19th, 2025. And it's just after 1 o'clock. And I had said we would check in at 1 and see where things are. And so here we are. We are going to have we're going to have a bill at 1:30. It is no, is it one thing? I'm looking at the wrong day. I'm looking at the wrong day. Bill 321. It's a cannabis bill that we looked through. We're going to have the amendment. The Ways and Means Amendment is going to be presented to us by Kirby from Ledge Council, who's the one who did that, and Mark Higley, Representative Higley from Ways and Means, will come in. And so we otherwise heard the whole bill yesterday, and then if people are ready to vote, we'll vote on that bill. Okay. So you could check that out, and then we're going to be getting some bills from the floor today. Aaron, do you remember what the bills are? So we're getting. Aaron can tell me.
I believe you're getting 479, which is the housing bill.
Oh, that's right, the housing bill. That's right. It's coming.
472, which is the OPR bill.
The which?
The OPR.
OPR bill. Okay.
And 397, which is the flood response fund.
Okay. Great. Thank you. So we'll schedule testimony. We'll see some of these things have money. Some of them have money that we already know about and we've talked about as part of the budget. And so we'll see where we go. Those things, and we'll be voting all of those out by Friday because we have to think about how they turn into the budget. So I'm going to have us break until 1:30. JFO is helping put together some things for me, and what I'd like to do is check back in here and talk about things at 3 o'clock. Well, no, we'll be here at 1:30. After 1:30, we'll break. Sorry. We'll break after we do the bill vote, and then we'll come back. And so continue, please, working on some of your things. And maybe we can start to close out a few more things this afternoon. So any questions about any of that? I guess I should also say while we are here is that you will all have floor reports to give for your areas of the budget. I will figure out the order and you'll all have it, so you'll know who you get to yield to. In the past, we've said, everybody has no more than 10 minutes or something like that, but some budgets don't need 10 minutes and some budgets need more than 10 minutes, right? So I may actually just talk with each of you, and so, just be thinking about that. And when you think about preparing your floor report, we'll keep to the highlights. So what happens is I'll go first and I'll say some stuff, and then I'll explain that we're going to, I'll probably explain how the budget works so people can try to follow along. We're doing it in order by you, not in order by the budget, because if we did it in order by the budget, it would be like this with everybody standing up and down and we'd all get dizzy. So we're not going to do that. But I want to give a little education to the floor, folks on the floor about what's where and how they can find things. But you, and I will tell them that you're not going to go over salaries and, all the base stuff. It's really kind of what's different and what's changing. I don't know if Jim, you have other thoughts about.
No, I think last year I timed myself, I was like 8 or 9 minutes. And even that was too long because I was saying, but governors recommend. So I think, Robin, you're right. Stick to the highlights. If we added some positions in an area, we added some funding. There's a new program taking place, but really the highlights. Otherwise, we will put everyone to sleep. And as luck has it, it's usually late. It's not 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
We'll see. We'll see what time it is. So, So this will be on the floor. The plan is for it to be on the floor next week on Thursday and Friday.
We'll probably do a caucus of the whole.
We'll probably do a caucus of the whole on
Wednesday.
Yeah,
Maybe
Tuesday or Tuesday, whenever they tell us we need to do that. And so that's a good time to be ready because, again, I'll say things will have highlight sheets and all those sort of things. But then if there are specific questions in detail about any of your areas, each of you will need to be ready to stand at the podium and respond.
You're not going to answer all the questions.
So we should be able to work on it on the weekend and get.
So I'd say, yeah, I mean, yes, exactly.
I mean, you'll have
Exactly.
some time next week.
Right.
Tuesday and Wednesday, preparing notes as well.
But it's good to be thinking about it
Yeah.
now. And some of you have things that aren't gonna change. They're not part of the parts we've been discussing,
Mine's
so,
easy.
so,
Yeah.
no reason why you can't start
There's some
writing.
things we kind of closed on here.
Yeah,
There's nothing changing except the 3% increase in something for salary.
right. And so, if people are getting the usual salaries, we don't need to go there. We'll just, I can say, everybody, we got the 3% and the COLA, whatever the negotiations were, and so we're not gonna talk about it. There's no reason for us to say that 40%. Yeah, that will put them to sleep. Put us to sleep. Put us to sleep. We didn't stay awake.
That eliminated about 2/3 of mine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Half a
So
month.
that's why I don't want to give you all exactly, you don't all need the same amount of time. It really depends on what's happening in your worlds, right? So, okay. So Lynn?
I just want to say that one of the things you really do need to know is you need to know if somebody asks you a question.
Yes. Yes, exactly.
That said.
Like Jeopardy.
Refer to the policy committee if it gets really technical.
Yeah.
About why they recommend it.
Right.
Or take a recess and ask Maria.
Right. Yes, can we have a couple of minutes to ask? So, joint fiscal will be sitting in the Senate seats and they will be ready at the drop of a hat to help. So if you feel stuck, you can yield to me, you can yield to the prosecutor, you can just ask for a recess. It is perfectly fine. In fact, you can even have a sticky. Sometimes people do this. They have a sticky on their desk, because when you're up there and you kind of aren't sure what to do, you can have a 1, 2, 3. I can ask for a recess. I can yield to somebody else.
Yield back to
I
the
can
chair.
share, right, so that's sort of your third option. Then she'll ask for a recess, yeah. So anyway, that's sort of what you can think
Of course,
of.
I did capital bill the last couple of years, so pretty much not.
Right, you know how this goes, but
Yeah, and the capital bill is a good example where you may talk about a project that is in the budget. You may want to yield back to, correction.
corrections, institution, so. We'll talk more about it, but I wanted to get you thinking about that, remind you have the floor report, Lynn.
Yes, I remember several times when the Appropriations Committee did report on their different topics, and some members are more knowledgeable than the person who's reporting, and they ask questions.
Okay, I guess there's a story there.
There is one.
All right, we will go up live until 1:30, please, Erin, and then we'll be back for the bill.